Have you ever been digging around your beer fridge and discovered a can or bottle of something you had not remembered was there? Well, that's what this special segment is all about. There are so many great beers out there, and with only a couple of times each month to share them with you, it was time to add a new segment to address this. Welcome to Beer Fridge Bonus. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Here in the United States, Memorial Day is a federal holiday that is the last Monday in May and is a 3-day weekend for most. It was first recognized in 1868 as Decoration Day. In 1971, it was officially recognized as Memorial Day. Folks, freedom is not free. It is a day when we remember those who have given their lives in service of their country for the great freedoms we enjoy. Such things as company, cookouts, and of course, craft beer. For this bonus session, I pulled 2 beers out of the beer fridge from Arshay Brewing, formerly of Akron, Ohio. These beers came directly from the brewery last summer when I was in the process of setting up an interview with them. For those that may not be from the Midwest region and are not aware, Arshay closed their doors in March of 2024 after nearly 9 years of making some pretty damn good beer. The closing sent shockwaves to the Ohio craft brewing industry in that no brewery was safe from some unsettling trends. I explored those trends in the final podcast episode of 2023. In my opinion, this was beyond their control, and if you're interested, you can find more information about it online. Without further delay, so what I'm drinking today are 2 double IPAs that are slightly different. The first is this. Hop Getaway. Our summer version of this beer uses a lighter malt bill featuring the hops of Lemon Drop along with Magnum, Columbus, Chinook, and Centennial. And Techno Signature. Our scans of Kepler 186F located in the Cygnus constellation found massive amounts of Citra, Centennial, and Cascade growing on the surface of this exoplanet. But the real question is, who are its cultivators? Well, both of these beers come in at 8% ABV. I'm drinking these from a couple of glasses that I've bought from the Ohio Pint Day, which is sponsored by the Ohio Craft Brewers Association to raise funds to encourage and promote craft beer in Ohio. So when I compare these 2 beers side by side, the Hop Getaway is a little bit lighter and cleaner, and the Techno Signature is a little darker and a little bit more turbid. The Hop Getaway poured with a nice fluffy white head. The Techno Signature had a slight white head that quickly dissipated. So the Hop Getaway, on the nose, it's got a nice citrusy profile. I would expect this from the hop bill that's been given. It's got some nice tropical notes as well, maybe some mango, definitely a little bit of lemony citrus in there. So first sip impression of the Hop Getaway. So that's nice. I'm getting a little bit of tropical fruit on the front of this. And then as I drink it, I get more of a citrus hop bitterness that finishes the beer. It is a light body beer, but I really like the aroma on this. It's very appealing. So I think that lemon drop is really what I'm getting on the nose. And then, of course, on the palate, that hot bitterness that kicks in is definitely coming from the big 3, from Chinook, Columbus, and Centennial. And it's just bitter enough that it makes you want to go back and have yet another drink of the beer. I think it's quite refreshing. I think it's a nice representation of a double IPA. Not overly malty. In fact, I really don't get a whole lot of malt character on that, which I rather like for a double IPA. I'm going to switch over and try out the Techno Signature. So this one is classified as a New England IPA. That explains why it is slightly more hazy. Getting just a little bit of citrus on the nose. I definitely know that it's there, but it's not in your face like some New England IPAs. All right, I'm going to go in for a first sip impression here. So this one has a little bit more of a, light to medium bodied mouthfeel. So on the palate, I'm getting a lot of juicy tropical notes. So I'm getting notes of mango, citrus, of course, and just a mild bitterness. In fact, it almost is flip-flopped from what the Hop Getaway. So it has a little bit more of a hop bitterness at the start of the drink, and then as it moves on across your tongue, you pick up more of those sweet citrusy flavors that are there, and it finishes with just a little bit of a hop tang, not overly so, very pleasant. I personally love Citra. Citra just offers such a great dry hop aroma, if this is dry hop. But Cascade and Centennial give it just enough of a hop bite that balances out that citrusy flavor. In their own right, they're both very good beers. I wish that I'd had a chance to sit down with Ron and talk more about his brewing process and talk a little bit more about what made him tick as a brewer and as a home brewer. I give Hop Getaway 3.5 tasters out of 5 on the flight board, and Techno Signature 4 tasters out of 5 on the flight board. Cheers, Arche Brewing, and I raise a glass to you this weekend. I'm going to miss your beers in my favorite bottle shop.
Just so you know, if you have a beer, cider, or mead that you'd like me to review here on Beer Fridge Bonus, let me know what it is by sending me a message through Instagram at 5beerplan2022 or emailing me at 5beerplan@frontier.com. If I can get my hands on it, I'll review it and give you props for suggesting it. If I can't get it and you can, perhaps you'd be willing to send a can or a bottle my way. I'm also looking for breweries who are interested in having an honest, unbiased review of their products. So if that's you, reach out today.